But brother could check the feed.
Let me see. I think it might be. Let me see here.
We good.
Yeah, Con.
Shalom.
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 The brothers of Great Mills from Charlotte with another Friday Night Live lesson through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh Shemi Shai. We want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh,
Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekahaswadash.
Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom.
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 As you can see by the title, desire discipline and fall in love with the process, man. This whole thing being an exhortation of sorts, for brothers, man, to desire to continue to grow in the spirit, man. Desire for the Lord to increase your portion, right? So that you can maximize that, man. So that you can make the most of what gifts the Lord has given you. But in doing so, there's going to be trials and tests and fights that you got to go through. But that's part of enduring and going through that process, man. The process of growth, comes with hurt. It comes with pain, and like people say, no pain, no gain, man. So the more wisdom you gain, the more fights and more trials and tests that you're going to go through, man. But you have to desire that, man. You have to, fall in love with this process, man.
That's right.
You can start in that, you want.
Sirach chapter 6 and verse 18. It says, "My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom to thine old age."
Now we get our instruction through what, man? Through the scriptures. Our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This is all the counsel of Yahweh Shemi Shai. And we desire that instruction. And in that instruction, the Lord is guiding us in different ways. But if we start to go astray, as a shepherd would, he's gonna hit that sheep with the stick to make him go the correct way, man. But we desire that because if the Lord didn't do that to us, then we would just go off into utter darkness, man. We would just be lost like the rest of 2/3 are out here. So we desire to have that discipline, to have those straits that keep us in line, man.
I got precept.
That's right.
Okay.
This is Sirach chapter 30 and verse 12. It says, This is Sirach 30 and verse 9. It says, "Conquer thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness." It says, laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, unless thou gnash thy teeth in the end. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies. Verse 12 to point. It says, bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and bring sorrow to thine heart. Verse 13.
Yeah, because when you are rearing a child, man, especially as a father, all right, you're not supposed to be on no buddy with your children, because that ultimately will make them weak.
Mm-hmm.
A father is supposed to be hard upon their children and imparting that discipline, which, as the scriptures is going into, man, that discipline is corrective action from when they err from the right way, man.
Verse 13, what you land back on what you said. It says, "Chastise thy son and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee." You see, so the Lord is molding the elect, and going into the word chastise, basically, he's disciplining the elect so that they don't go off that straight gate path.
Right. So I got that word discipline in the etymology. It says penitential chastisement. It says punishment for the sake of correction. It says physical punishment, teaching, suffering, martyrdom, instruction given, teaching, learning, knowledge. It says object of instruction, knowledge, science, military discipline. For the point being, it says that's penitential chastisement or punishment for the sake of correction, because discipline keeps you in order. In order for us to be disciples, we have to, be disciplined, which the scriptures teach you discipline on how to govern your spirit. And this world,
That's
it
right.
pretty much, lets you roam free on whatever lust and desire you have. But these scriptures teach you how to, tame your spirit, man, and walk in righteousness,
That's right.
Okay. Could the brother get Sirach 30:1? Just laying back and look what your brothers is bringing up.
I got it. This is Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 1. It says, "He that loveth his son causeth him off to fear the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end."
Right. So that's the true love, in the scriptures, man. The Lord, giving us that discipline.
Hebrews 12.
Right. And we're seeking that, we desire that because it means that, the Lord is keeping us out of harm's way. He's putting us on the correct path. He's setting us in the way that he deems right, man. You can keep going in that.
That's right, brother.
I think I had another one. This is Mashalim, also Proverbs chapter 19. Damn. And verse 13. It says, what was your point again, bro? I didn't hear you.
Where it says, he that loveth his son causeth him off to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. It's the love of the Lord, keeping us out of harm's way, guiding us in the correct way, and that's what we're desiring. The majority of the world, sees what we're going through and counts it as grievous, but we understand that the Lord is setting us up, that we can be, seen of him to have, for him to have that joy in us, man.
That's right. That's right, brother. Yep. You got it, priest.
Because that discipline the Lord is doing, like you said, it's for our betterment. So this is Hebrews 12:6. For whom he loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. Because that's what keeps us in line. All right, we go off, the Lord brings the hammer on us, and we tighten up, man. Because in this straight gate, as you said, you compared us to sheep. When scriptures compare us to sheep. But when the sheep begin to stray, all right, what happens? The shepherd will use that staff and beat them to get them back in line. That's what the Lord ultimately is doing with us. Because on this straight gate, as it tells you when Solomon, 2nd Ezra 7, all right, it says that path is so narrow that only one can go down at a time. But on one end is water, on the other end, on one side is water, one side is fire. So one wrong move can cause your destruction. So the Lord is disciplining us, all right, to make sure that we don't, be destroyed, man. So if you're not getting that discipline, you're likening to a bastard, which shows you the Lord he's not dealing with you. He doesn't care about you, man.
That's right.
That's right. I got a quick precept, if I may. This is the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 17. It reads, "Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Therefore, despise not thou the chastising of the Almighty." You see that? So kind of just backing up what you brothers are saying. You see that? As a matter of fact, priest just said it. If you're not being chastised and you're not going through things, right, then, hey, man, what is a child that doesn't have a father? He's a bastard. See that? So a lot of people out there, they're bastards, man. They're not going through things. They're not receiving chastisement. But because the Lord, he loves us, we go through things, man. You see that? And these things ultimately are set to put us on the right path, man. So, yeah, man. If you're not going through things, right, then, hey, man, you need to definitely check yourself. You see that? But all of us brothers, we are going through things because the Lord is pretty much getting us in line. You see that? Right. Building us up to be kingdoms and rulers, man, in the kingdom of in the heaven.
Right. I got one more for you, Corn. Okay. We can break this down. Just the bar literally just said it. This is Sirach 32 and 14, if nobody already brought it back out. But it says, "Whoso feareth the Lord will receive his discipline, and they that seek him early shall find favor."
That's right. You got it, Quanawar.
Yeah, you got it, bro.
Oh, come on.
I read it again for you.
Come on.
Sirach 32 and 14. It says, "Whoso feareth the Lord will receive his discipline, and they that seek him early shall find favor."
Right. You know, those of us who are seeking the Lord early, you know, the hopeful elect are seeking to the discipline of the Lord so that He can set us right, man. You know, so that we can be, you know, found worthy, so that we can be put on that straight path, so we're not, you know, straying off to the left or to the right to destruction, man. You know, as Precept brought out, you know, you one step away, you know, from damnation, man. You know, so
That's right.
you need someone there to guide you, man. You need someone there to keep you on the straight and narrow, right? You know, we can't do this all on our own will. You know, it's, you know, that's part of, you know, loving the process, man. You know, falling in love with this process is understanding that there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. You know, you're going to go through things and you're going to excel in certain things, but in those the ups, you can't get too high, and in those downs, you got to understand that you're down. You're going through this discipline in order to grow. You know, that's an opportunity for you, you know, to examine yourself and to grow in a different area, man.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You can keep going in that Sirach 6, Yawan.
This is Sirach chapter 6 and verse 19. It says, "Come unto her as one." I'm sorry, back from verse 18.
Yeah.
It says, "My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon."
Right. You know, it's the works that we're doing. We have to take it. You know, take this as a job, man. You know, we've been hired to do this work, man. And the Lord, you know, He's overseeing all these things, man. So when you going off, you're doing something wrong, you know, He's going to correct you in that, man. But the work isn't going to be, as scriptures talk about, how my burden is light. You know,
my yoke
the work
is light.
that we're doing, God.
Yeah.
You know, the work that we're doing, it's not hard work. It's not something that, you know, we can't do. You know, the Lord set it up to where we can accomplish these things, man. You know, He set it up to where we're not going to be out here forever, man. You know, so like where it says, "Thou shalt not toil for much laboring about her, but you shall eat the fruits of her right soon." You know, in the grand scheme of things, you know, Lord, when we'll be of that elect number, we'll be eating of those fruits of wisdom, man. We'll be eating the fruits of the discipline of Yahweh Shemel Shai soon, man.
That's right, brother.
Verse 20. "She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her."
Mm-hmm. You know, so it's unpleasant. You know, the trials and tribulations that you go through that are meant to test you, you know, to get you out of your comfort zone, because that's what this whole ministry does. It forces you to do things that you otherwise weren't comfortable doing when you were in the world, you know. But becoming a man of the Lord, you have to grow in all facets, man. You know, you have to become a well-rounded individual. And when you start leaning too far in one direction, the Lord is going to do something to push you back, man, to get you back balance.
God.
Mm-hmm.
I got a precept to that too, because can you read it again? Bible Shah.
Okay. This is Sirach 6 and 20. "She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her."
Right, because one of the main components that brothers realize when you come into this truth, when you read Sirach 2 and 1, where it talks about preparing your soul for temptation when you come to serve the Lord, you understand why we go through things, man. All right, because with this truth, what gives us a leg up the rest of the world is that we go through the same thing the people in the world go through, but the difference between them and us is we know why we go through these things, man. We catch hell just like they do, but we have the understanding to know why the Lord is putting us through this, man. That's why it says that the wisdom, it becomes burdensome unto them who are not, you know, keen to it, because they think it's too much. They rather go back like what was my man in Matrix, Cypher, you know, that wanted to go back to not knowing. He wanted to be blind again, you know, be sleep.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to have to deal with the burdens of this truth, because it is an extra load on you, but it's like you get used to it. It's like you in the weight room, man.
Exactly.
You hate hitting them damn heavy ass weights, but you know the more you do it, they get easier. You start going up, man. You just continual push, man. You know, so it's a beautiful thing, man, to be challenged, man. All right, that's one thing about discipline as well, man. She's always challenging you, man. You know, trying to bring out that better you that's inside of you that you don't even know is there, man. You know.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
So the
Beautiful.
precept I had was 1 Peter 4:12. It says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you." Right. Don't look at it as no crazy thing when you start seeing things happen, man. Hey, the more you're in this truth, the more you're gonna be tried with different situations, man. And it's gonna be things that you thought will break you. You know, you thought things. I don't see how I went through that, man. When you look back on it, but the Lord was with you. All right, He gave you the wisdom to be able to get through it. So we don't look at things crazy no more. We go through it like, damn, man, that's Satan. And then, hey, throw them prayers up and we keep it moving, man. You know?
Right. Exactly.
That's right.
It's all about growth, man. Everything that we go through is so that we're being made, more in the image of Yahweh Shai, man.
That's it.
So that we can, as you read in Luke, was it 28th chapter, I think it is. It says, what does it say? It said, "Pray always that you may be accounted worthy," man. We want to be found worthy. We want to be found, without fault and blameless, as Scripture say, man. And in doing so, we have to be tested. Your integrity has to be tested. Your strength has to be tested. Your faith has to be tested. All these things have to be tested, and that's part of the discipline, man. That's why you discipline yourself, in the flesh, and then the Lord is disciplining, your spirit. We all have, times where we start to fall back, but then the Lord is going, He's going to hit you right back into place, man. It's something that's going to happen that's going to shake you right back to where you need to be, man. And that's what we desire. That's what we seek.
That's right, brother. And then plus everything that we're going through anyway, when we get chastised, we deserve it anyway, man. I got a quick precept, Proverbs chapter 3, and I want to read verse 11. It reads, "My son, despise not the chastising of the Lord." Just, feeding into the brothers, man. And it reads, "Neither be weary of his correction." You see that? So don't despise the chastisement or the thing that you're going through. Don't despise it, man. Don't tell yourself, well, you know what? This thing is too hard for me. And Jake want to flake when they start to go through things, man. You see that? They want to go back to the world and all of that, man. But the scripture telling you to despise not these things. And also backing up what Priest just said, when you go into the book of Sirach chapter 2, it tells you to prepare yourself for temptation, man. But as time goes on, this thing here starts to become easier and easier, just like how Priest said, lifting weights. I'm gonna keep reading here. Verse 13, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13, it reads, "Happy is the man that findeth slacker." Proverbs chapter 3, and I'm gonna read verse 12, and it reads, "For whom the Lord loveth, He correcteth." You see that? So when we're being corrected out here, man, it's because the Lord is showing His love towards us, man. You see that? That's why when you see Jake out here, they're not being corrected, man. Jake out here robbing people, doing all kind of crap to people, and the Lord ain't doing nothing to him till finally that day come, man. You see that? And then, hey, man, it's too late. You see that? But I'm gonna keep reading. "For whom the Lord loveth, He correcteth, even as a father, even as a father, the son in whom He delighteth." You see that? So, these things here, the Lord, He delights in the fact that He's correcting us, man. You see that? And also we should be glad too that we are being corrected, because it's showing us that, hey, man, it's a possibility that the Lord is dealing with us to make sure that we are on the right path, man, versus bugging out.
Right.
You see that?
One of the main things you think about whenever you are going through those trials, man, is, are you utilizing the wisdom the Lord has given you? Because each test that we're presented with is an opportunity for the Lord to see, are we utilizing what He's given us, man? That's why when you overcome those things, that lesson becomes an experience that, a brother that comes to you, later on, that's going through that same situation or something similar, you have the wisdom to give unto him to help with his trial, man. So it's all a learning mechanism the Lord has given us, man, to teach us how to be better, man.
Okay.
That's right, Bruce. That's right.
You can keep going now, you want.
Okay. This is Bon Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 21, she will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not any counsel.
So we embrace, the chastising of the Lord, man. Because it gives you an opportunity to grow. It gives you an opportunity to see where you're at, to measure yourself up, in the spirit, man. To see how well you can apply what the Lord has opened up to you, man. Everybody wants to be tested, because what's the point of gaining strength in things and not being able to use it, man? So exactly, you have to flex your muscles sometimes, right? In order to grow, sometimes some things have to be heavier on you. All these things that we go through, or as Priest went into, man, like going to the gym, you're not going to gain the same growth doing the same weights every day. Eventually, you got to add more plates on there, man. And you should seek to want to add more things on there, in order to grow. But the Lord isn't going to add more to you than you can handle, man.
Yeah, it's all about growth. It's all about growth in this thing, man. I got a quote. It says, this can be applied to the truth. It says, growth can be painful, change can be painful, but nothing is more painful than being stuck where you don't belong. And if we're of the elect, Lord willing, we don't belong to this world, man. So every day is a push for yourself to be better, in the mind, the spirit, and everything, man. So, hey, sometimes you even gotta ask the Lord, man, to challenge you.
Right.
Go on a fast for however long you feel like you can go on and just challenge yourself, man. But that discipline, it comes from that, man. Because the more you discipline yourself, the Lord sees just you're trying, man. He's gonna impart you more wisdom, more knowledge, more understanding. All right, he's gonna see the effort, and he's gonna reward you for that. But you can't get that if you're not, staying on course, man. If you're not trying to grow, man. If you're not being disciplined, man.
Exactly.
Because you see what happens when you're just loose with everything, man. All right, Jacob, you're undisciplined with women. Women can destroy you. Alcohol, you drink too much, that can kill you. Anything in too much of a measure is not good for you. So that's why even with this truth, you gotta be balanced, man. You can't be in the scriptures 24/7. You gotta give the flesh time to play too, man. But you gotta keep your flesh under subjection when you do, take a break from the scriptures, though, man. So discipline plays a huge part in all of our walk, man.
Hey,
That's right.
Like it said here in verse 22, it says, wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. All the discipline that you're being put through, it's not easy. A lot of people can take the easy way. There's plenty of people out here that walk the easy path but never get anywhere, man. The only time you're gonna get somewhere is when you take that hard road. When there's adversity, when there's trials, that's where the growth comes from. As Priest had mentioned, man. It's gonna hurt. It's not gonna feel good. There's certain things are gonna, there's offenses that you might face, but you gotta rebuke those things, man. That's where growth comes into play. That's where not being stagnant, in this thing comes into play, man. Because if you're staying in the same place, you just stagnating, and stagnated water got flies and mosquitoes all in it, man. But those rivers of living waters, they flow clear, man. And they allow the land to be nourished, man. And that's what we hope to be.
Yeah. If you look at even with nature, like if you have like a river, or if you have like a swamp, a swamp is real stinky. If you look at rivers actually like filter out. It's like fresh water. You actually drink from that water, from rivers.
Yeah.
And that's because it's moving. It's always moving, not being stagnant.
But Corner, I got something to add to what you were saying real quick. Because at the end of the day, man, our people hate to be challenged, man. And that's really what a lot of that, growth is stunted from, because they don't want to challenge themselves, man. Even in this truth. But you gotta face that, man. This is Proverbs 24:10, because your faith is constantly going to be tried in this truth. Proverbs 24:10. If thou if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small, and that strength is referring to is your faith, man. So if you faint in the day of adversity, that's because you didn't believe that Yahweh Shem Yahushua could pull you out of that situation, man. You know, that goes for all situations that we go through. You know, if we want to go through it, we gotta trust that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gonna provide for us to get us through that, man. You know.
That's right.
That's right.
God.
And the time that we're in right now, this grace period, is the time that the Lord is, affording us to build those spiritual muscles, man. You know, to build that faith, to build that, that belief, that trust in the Lord, that relationship with Yahweh Shai. All this time that we've been afforded that's what we should be doing, man. You know, pushing this work and building that relationship with the Lord, so that we have that stability in these times, man. When it gets dark, we have that light. You know, without working on that, then you just empty, man. You know, you've been doing the same 135, for years, and haven't grown, but you see people start passing you on the spirit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep going.
That's right, brother.
God, this is Bonsarak 6:24. And put thy feet into her fetters, and thy chain and thy neck into her chain. Bow down thy shoulder, and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds.
Right, because we're prisoners of Yahweh for Yahweh Shai's sake, man. We put ourselves in subjection to the Lord, right? We get that what's it 24 or 23 and 1, we get that little bit of time out in the yard, feed the flesh, and then it's back to work, man.
That's it.
And in between that time, you're supposed to be building up in the spirit. That's the time that we've been afforded. We're separated, just like the prisoners would be from the rest of the world, and then when we come out, ultimately we're supposed to be new men, and we're supposed to put off that old man and grow as a new creature, man.
That's right.
That's right.
You can keep going, Well.
Okay. Verse 26, come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power. Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee. And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go.
Right, so we got to hold on to this thing, man. With dear life, right? The discipline, we got to seek that discipline out, man. We got to search and seek, as it says, man. And it's going to be made known unto you. The Lord is he's gonna, show you the right path. The correct way is going to be revealed, right? But like I said, let her not go, man. Thou hast got hold of her, let her not go. If you compare this to climbing a mountain, man, you always got to have contact, 3 points of contact. As soon as you lose a point of contact, that's when you start to fall, man. So you want to continue, keeping a foot here, keeping a hand here, and keep climbing, man. Regardless of what the speed is, you got to keep moving forward, man.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta compare. Hey, Sophia is the Greek way of how you say wisdom. So you gotta treat wisdom like how your first woman was, man. Your first. We all remember that first love we had, man. You ain't want to let her go. That's the same mentality you gotta take for wisdom, because she's gonna guide you, as it's gonna say in verse 28. She's gonna guide you to your rest, man. So you gotta cleave to wisdom, man.
Right.
That's right.
What was that, verse 28?
Yeah, you're 28.
Bonsarak 6:28. For at the last thou shalt find her rest, and that shall be turned to thy joy. Then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory.
Right. So the fetters and those chains, that we're holding us, so-called holding us down, while we're on this side, then it's going to be shown to prove its true value, man. It'll be that strong defense. It's gonna have that, provide that hedge of protection for us, man. Us having that wisdom, and the way to gain that wisdom as we keep going into is that discipline, man. You know, the experiences that you gain through the chastisement of the Lord, man. And, what else did it say? It says, "For her chains a robe of glory," because ultimately you'll receive that glory at the end of the day, man. Lord willing, you know, we be of that elect number. We all be at that crowning ceremony, man. That we all partake in that glory of the kingdom, man. You know, to see it being built, you know, by these heathen. You know, to put chains on these heathen nations and their leaders, man. You know, that's the chains of glory that we're gonna receive, you know, as a result of putting ourselves in the bonds of this wisdom, man.
That's right.
You got that 1 Corinthians, DeBar?
Yes, sir. I got it right here. This is the book of 1 Corinthians. It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9. I'm gonna start at verse 24, and it reads, know ye not that which Shlaki. I'm gonna read that again. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 24, and it reads, know ye not that they which run in the race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain.
Right, we're all running
And I want to grab.
You know, we're all fighting this same fight. You know, brothers go through varying levels of trials and tests, but we're all going through trials and tests, man. And the one thing you can't do is compare what you're going through to what another brother is going through, man. Because what he's dealing with, you might not be able to bear, and likewise, man. You know, so we all have our specific tests and our specific hells that we have to go through, but it's all to bring us to that perfection, man. To get out that the impurities, to purify us in the sight of the Lord, man. You know.
That's right. Can we keep reading?
You got that run in there?
Yes, sir. This is the word for the word run, and
Strong's G 5143 tracho,
and it means to run, of persons in haste, of those who run in a race course. Let me see, of doctrine rapidly propagated by a metaphor. It says word occurs in Greek writings denoting to incur extreme peril, which it requires the exertion of all one's effort to overcome.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you build up in the spirit, man. You get those spiritual muscles, because why? It says it's going to require the exertion of all one's effort to overcome, man. You know, all the effort, all the energy you got left is what it's going to take, man. You know, with that final stretch, that final push, you know, it's going to take everything you got to overcome these things that the Lord has set before us, man. And if you're lacking, then as we read, your faith was small, man. Your strength was small. Your strength, you know, was weak, you know, because you didn't spend the time in the discipline, man. You didn't spend the time growing. You didn't spend the time learning from the trials and the chastisement and the tests that the Lord has set before you, man.
That's right.
You got the ultimate example of how to go through all that with Yahweh Shai, man. I got a quick one.
Okay.
This is Hebrews 12:1. It says, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doeth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Because Yahweh Shai walked this exact walk that we're walking, and he was able to keep it, you know, perfect until the end, man. So us coming in that same stead as Yahweh Bashem, as Yahweh Shai, all right, us being unable to keep it perfect, our faith in him is what allows us to continue on and get back up when we stumble and fall, man. All right, because we understand that, and we are beacons of light that the Lord is using to gather the elect, man. So we have to continue to be that example, just like Yahushua is to us, unto the others that follow after us, man. It says, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh. Right. So Yahushua, being the author and finisher of our faith, okay, he went through it. All right, he knew exactly every feeling that we feel, every temptation you can think of that we face. He faced, man, and he still endured until the end. And you see how he was rewarded. All right, so we seek to get that same glory. Not saying we're going to be sitting on the throne with the Most High and the Son, but we want that same glory of that reward that is going to be given to us, man. You know.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. And even when you think about Job, you know, and what Job went through, you know, Job lost it all, man.
Right.
You see that? But Job, he endured, right? He kept praying to the Lord, right? He didn't give up, right? He endured everything that he was going through, and look what he got in the end, man. He got 10 times more than what he lost. You see that? So, you know, the things that we're going through, right? You got to think about the end game, man. Right? What's the end? You know, for us to be what? Crowned by Yahushua, man. So everything that we're going through, right? You know, this is a light affliction, man. You see that? So do you want to suffer now, right, and be crowned? Or, you know, you got, you know, 2/3 of our people, they don't want to suffer at all. And then when the time of Jacob's trouble come, they're going to find themselves out back some damn where starving, man. You see that?
But that goes into what we were speaking about earlier, man, that having that discipline to endure, to see it through. Because anything
that's right.
that you truly desire in this life, man, you got to put the work in for. Jake want that shredded body, man. You got to get in the gym. All right, hit that gym 3, 4, 5 times a week, man. Challenge yourself, hit them weights. You got to do the cardio. All right, you got to put in hours of work in anything that you do. All right, and that suffering is the, you know, pretty much, you know, you learning, you going through that to pretty much perfect your craft, man. And that's what we're doing in this walk, in this truth, man. Is the Lord, you know, has us going through, all right, and he's helping us perfect this craft, which is to become those righteous kings, those righteous judges, those righteous priests. That's going to help bring the world back into order when the Lord establishes the kingdom of heaven on earth, man. You know, so we have to go through these things. We have to be, you know, chastised at times, man. We got to, you know, discipline our flesh, and it ain't got to be just from the Lord. We got to do that within our own selves, man. That's why I mentioned fasting earlier, man. You know, which we all got to do that more. I'm speaking for myself first, man. You know, we got to fast more, because fasting, that's disciplining your flesh, you know, so that you're afflicting your flesh so that the spirit can be more. You're getting close to the Lord like that, man. You know, so you gotta apply discipline in all levels, man. You know, hey, stop playing the game so much. Stop, you know, chasing women, you know, or whatever vice you got, man. Drinking, whatever it is, man. You give the Lord more time. Hey, be in the spirit more, man. You know, and that's how you grow in this truth, man. Sacrifice yourself. You sacrifice it, man.
God.
That's right. God.
Could the brother get well, you can finish that out, the bar. But can somebody hold?
Yes, sir.
2nd Ezra 7, 15 and 16.
God.
You got it.
God. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25, and it reads, "And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things." Now they do it to a,
you know, that temperance
into
the balance, the discipline, you know, the understanding, you know, what you can and can't do, you know, how you can and can't move, man. You know, as scriptures talk about, everything is roughly paraphrasing, you know, every brother can't do everything, man. You know, each spirit has its own measure, you know, so what one brother can handle, you might not be able to handle, you know, and vice versa, right? But you're temperate, you have the discipline to understand these things, man. You know, you understand what you can do with your time. You understand how you can spend your time studying. You understand, you know, whatever your sleep habits are, you know, whatever your reading habits are, you know, your putting out your video schedule, you know, all these things. You know, you have the discipline in all these things. Your work life. Some brothers can work, long hours and still get their things done, man. But that might not be the lot of another brother, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that discipline in all these things, man. When you strive for the masteries,
That's right. Continuing on, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. And it's like in every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Verse 26, and it reads,
That's like it.
That's right.
We're fighting for that.
1 Corinthians.
We're fighting for that crown, man. Okay, you go.
That's right. That's right. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 26, and it reads, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. Verse 27.
Real quick, that's like at the bar. Go back to about the corruptible crown and incorruptible, and Cornwall, break that down. That's a good breakdown to speak on, because that's what the difference between what we're doing in this truth compared to what these people are doing in the world, man. Because these people in the world, they discipline and they craft, but their shit is not the same, Go ahead though.
That's right. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25, and it reads, every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
Right. So we're fighting for that incorruptible crown, man. That crown that can't be tarnished. That glory that can't be measured, in these earthly senses, man. Because as Priest mentioned, these people of the world, they exude discipline, in all these ventures, man. People compare themselves to people like Kobe Bryant or Steve Jobs or fucking Kanye West, but all these men show great discipline in whatever field that they were in. How much more us, man, where we have eternal glory, set before us. We have everlasting dominion, laid out in front of us. All we have to do is have the discipline, man, to be temperate and endure to reach that goal, man, to reach the finish line. We got to keep going in the race to reach that final destination, man.
Because the thing that these people have dedicated their lives to, man, it's going to be pretty much, done. It's going to be pointless once society breaks down. Ain't nobody going to care about LeBron breaking Kareem's scoring record when society breaks down. Exactly. Ain't nobody going to care about who's the pretty much the best rapper, who has the most money. None of that's going to matter when the Yahweh Shem Shai is, here bringing judgment upon the world, man. So like Cornwall said, the things that we're laboring for, man, it's gonna exude way more importance, because it's gonna actually mean something. All right, everything that these people labor for now, man, it's gonna pass away when Babylon destroyed, man.
That's right. I got a quick precept. Let me see, Slocky. Just backing up what you just said, Priest. Let me see here. I'm gonna go to the book of Colossians chapter 3. Colossians chapter 3 and verse Colossians chapter 3, and I want to read verse 2, and it says, set your affections on things above, not on things on earth. You see that? So these guys out here, these individuals, they're setting their things on things that's earthly. You see that? So in the time of Jacob's trouble come, things when shit get real bad out here, right? That's why scriptures say wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Because Jake is so focused on that incorruptible crown, man. Just things of this world, all kind of stuff, man. And these things aren't going to matter when all hell break loose, man. You see that? Because Jake is so worried about things of the world versus worried about things that's in heaven, man. And see, we're going through the things, right? Because we know that things that we're going through, we're going to be eventually crowned if we endure it to the end. But Jake is not thinking like that. Jake is thinking about, the next woman to pop, the next weeds to smoke, just worldly shit that doesn't pertain into salvation, man. You see that? So, Jake is not setting his mind on things above, right? He's setting his things on earth, and these things aren't going to mean anything because the scriptures say that all these things are going to pass away anyway. You see that? But if we're setting our minds on Yahweh Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh Ratazah, we be those men, man, to get crowned by Yahweh Shai. Referring to the book of Second. Con, you got it, priest.
Con. This is Matthew 5:19. It says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break down." It's like where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Well, y'all can break that down.
Our treasures in heaven, man. Our treasures in this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This is the true value, the most valuable thing on the earth, man. Is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And it's gonna bring a kingdom. So why would we not, attach ourselves to this, man, and do everything necessary, everything within our power, to stay with this, man, to discipline ourselves unto it, man, to accept, whatever chastisement comes with it in order for us to grow and to be found acceptable, man. As brothers brought out, man, these people out here, they do all these things, jumping through hoops, just to gain corruptible crowns, man, just to gain things that are ultimately going to be destroyed, but we can see, the kingdom, man. We can see these things through the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that's been granted unto us, man. And that's what we're continuing to fight for, man. That's what we're pushing towards that mark, as scriptures say, man. Because we see the kingdom, man, and we understand that there's nothing else here, that can compare. So we got to fight more than they fight for the stuff of this world, man. You see people going through the lengths that they go through, to gain some type of status in society. We should be going to those same levels, to get on the right side of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man.
That's right. Because when you look around, you see Jake going hard to be wicked, man. Jake going real hard to be wicked as hell. See, but we are going hard to please Yahweh Yahweh Shai, man, within hopes to win or to run that race and also to win it, man. Right? And what's the final reward? That crown, man. You see that? And we pray, right? And this is why we run that race, man. And Con, I'm gonna keep going in 1 Corinthians. This is the book of This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 26, and it reads, "I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air,
because we know,
but I keep under."
We know exactly what we're fighting for. We're fighting for that dominion, man. We're fighting for that crown. We're fighting for that everlasting kingdom. We're fighting for everlasting righteousness. We're fighting for that rulership seat, man. We're fighting for peace and rest. All these things, man. This is what we're fighting for. We know exactly what we're fighting for. So we like I said, we're not fighting as one that beateth the air. People who don't know what they're doing this for. We know exactly why we do what we do, man.
That's right, brother.
I got a definition.
This
is the word meticulous, because that's essentially what you want to be in this truth. It says showing great attention to detail. Going back to the was a precept in Corinthians talking about how they do it for a corruptible crown. Yeah. A lot of those professionals are very meticulous. It says showing great attention to detail, very careful and precise. Some similar words says careful. How you say this word? Conscientious or something? Yeah, you said it right. Yeah, conscientious. Diligent. All right, the elect's gonna be diligent. The scriptures go into how the diligent will be made fat, roughly paraphrasing. But I want to get to the etymology of the word meticulous. It says from Latin metus, which means fear, and essentially that discipline is going to come from that fear. All right, because the elect is going to fear the Lord. All right, I'm gonna go. It says meticulios. It says meticulous, fearful, or timid. All right, I got a precept. This is Yeshaya, also Isaiah 33:6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." Now we know that wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of the times that we in now, and as well as Jacob's trouble, you see. But also with the discipline, the fear is the treasure. The fear is how we get that discipline, because that's what's going to push you. The fear is going to push you to be disciplined.
Mm-hmm. Because hey, with this truth, like your woman just said, man, and we have to be meticulous because hey, the Lord is meticulous. When you read about how the Lord wanted the temple to be built, when He commanded Noah to build the ark, the Lord was very meticulous on how He wanted the measurements to be. All right, and that's the same thing with us. Because are we not the third temple? Are we not the Lord's temple? So the Lord has a very a fine line way of how He wants things to be, and so this is why you constantly see, elders and brothers rebuking guys that are going off, man. All right, hey, you gotta be on point with everything. Hey, with the Hebrew, all right, hey, you have to be. You want to make sure that you're pronouncing the words the correct way, man. You want to make sure that you're on point with the history. You want to make sure that you're on point with everything you do in the scriptures, because you have to give attention to detail. All right, because one mistake can cost us our lives, man. All right, think about with Moses, man. When Moses, that one mistake, that's all it took. When the Most High told him, like, look, you're gonna see the promised land, but you're not gonna go into it. All right, so the Most High even showed him the promised land, and he died right when they got there, man. So that shows you that the Lord don't play, man. So we got to make sure that we're obtaining the doctrine the correct way. I got a precept too. This is 1 Timothy chapter 4. I'm gonna start at 13. I'm gonna go down to 16. 16 is the point. It says, "Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine." Okay, you got to give attendance to reading because it says, "A blessed he that readeth," man. Because this whole book is Yahweh Shah. So when He told the disciples, say, "Eat of my flesh, drink of my blood," man. Ultimately, He was to us now. We have to eat the whole roll, man. Because this scripture say He comes in the whole book. Okay, so it says, "Give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine," man. So, and we do this work so that we can exhort brothers and you sisters to continue to fight, man. To continue to ask the Lord to strengthen you so that you can endure the trials. Because we ain't even seen shit yet. And you got dudes folding before the final test comes, man. So this is why we got to continue to read these scriptures on how our forefathers endured temptation and how they overcame, man. It says, "Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy with the laying on the hands of the presbytery," right? The gift that is inside of us, man, is the gift of faith, man. The scriptures, this truth, man. All right? You can't neglect it. You got to continue to feed the spirit, man. All right? The more you study, man, you're going to be compelled to share with the body the things that Yahweh Shai showed unto you, man. All right? It says,
That's right.
"Meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all." All right? So, somebody might. Yeah, that was Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quantum, I think that's your mic, man. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so I finish it out and then you can turn it back on. Salaki. It says, "Meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all." Right. So when you constantly meditating upon the scriptures, all right, like it tells you in Joshua 1:8, all right, to meditate on these words day and night, and then that they end might be prosperous, man. All right. So if you meditate upon the words of Yahweh by Shem Shah, eventually you will have that good success, which is salvation, man. The point. "Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them, for in doing so," it's like, "in doing this, thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee." All right. So you have to be meticulous when it comes to this truth, man, because everything the Lord is giving us is instructions on how to do do this the correct way, man. Hey, when you watch guys like Kobe, for example, when Kobe wanted to get better, what did he do? He studied the greats like Michael Jordan. He went and got training from guys like Hakeem Olajuwon, man. And he was very meticulous down to the littlest details as far as with the footwork. All right, the jump shot. Okay, he was so meticulous with it that he studied. I believe it was a cheetah. He studied the cheetah, and when he that's how he perfected his fadeaway. As he saw when the cheetah it turned directions, the way his tail moved, that's how he was able to perfect his fadeaway, man. All right, so hey, we gotta be on that level of trying to perfect our craft, man. All right, you can't leave no stone unturned when it comes to this truth, man, because that's how we get better in this faith, man. You got it, Quanah.
Like Chris said, if I can, look at that word attendance too, because it makes it perfectly what you were saying. It says to attend oneself, to give heed, to give attention, to apply oneself to.
Hey, Quanah, your mic,
to.
your mic is bugging out. I don't know, like you sound like real muffled right now.
It's the damn devil,
yeah,
you know.
That's Satan.
Yeah.
It's great. It sound fine on the feed, but this one's off.
Let me see. Yeah, keep talking. I'm gonna see how it sounds on the feed. Hold on. It might just be on our end. Nah, yeah, it's on the feed too. What you might have to do is leave out of the video and come back in. We should still be on if you leave out of it and come back in. That might fix it. But until then, somebody get a precept to come back in.
I wanna go to Sirach chapter 2, man, because you know the whole point of this thing here, you know, it's the things that we're going through. Is that mine too?
It's still on Quanah Wops.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
and you know, so I kind of wanted to grab this here too, man, because you know the whole point of the matter is, you know, the things that we're going through, right? It's all worthwhile, man. You see that? So you know, the scriptures tell you. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and grab it. This is the book, and one of you brothers can break this down. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. It reads, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." And it reads, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make."
So the Lord forewarned us, you know, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul to go through things, you see, because it's going to be different things on this walk as we're going into that's going to put you in adversity, you see. It says, set thy heart aright, which is your mind, and it says constantly endure. You know, and endure means to slot. That's patience, but essentially endure by set your heart aright by saying this truth, you know, using and applying the precepts.
To endure means you're suffering still, so you're still on point.
Yeah,
that's right.
It says
on. It reads.
Yeah, you got it.
You got it.
No, you got it.
Oh, okay. Sirach chapter 2, verse 2 again. It reads, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble."
And making haste. Could you grab Proverbs 3 and 5 up, Kusha? Because you don't want to make. I think it's Proverbs 3 and 5. You don't want to make haste in His truth, you know, because essentially making the wrong move in a straight gate can be your life.
Yeah, it's Proverbs 3 and 5. It's 3 and 5, right?
It
says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart."
That goes into set thy heart aright and constantly endure, trusting in the Lord,
and lean not unto thy own understanding.
Because the scriptures say the mind is desperately wicked. Who can know it? You see, so relying on your own strength, your own understanding, can essentially make you to make haste. And the scriptures say, "He that hateth with his feet sinneth." You see,
right? Because when you make haste, that's pretty much you know, moving on your own. You're not trusting the Lord, because the Lord will give you the wisdom to know how to move. And when you move in haste, you're taking things into your own hands, man, which is detrimental to you. You want to go down?
That's right.
What does it say?
It says, "In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths."
So you want to use sound wisdom and judgment with all your movements. you know, in life.
It says, "Be not wise in thy own eyes, fear the Lord, and depart from evil."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you got it.
You keep going, bro.
That's right. Yes, sir. Sirach chapter 2, verse 3, and it reads, "Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end."
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state."
Constantly, when you brought to a lower state, that word patience goes into suffering. So you want to suffer. This truth is about suffering. I'm gonna read the next
That's
verse.
right.
It says, "For gold is tried in the fire, being that that suffering." It says, "And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." All right, so acceptable men are going to be tried in the face of adversity. You know, how you going to react? You know, how's your integrity? You know, because when you use a metal, or what do you call them, like goldsmith and silversmith, like essentially they test that metal to see if it can withstand that pressure. You know, and if it withstands the pressure, then it's a good metal. Yep. You see, that's essentially what the Lord is doing.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Sirach chapter 2, verse I'll read verse 5 again. "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." Verse 6, "Believe in him, and he will help thee.
Mm-hmm.
Order thy way aright, and trust in him."
You keep going.
Come, I'm gonna read that again. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 6. It says, "Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall."
When you go into that word wait, it's kwawa, which essentially goes into expect. So you should, if you're serving the Lord sincerity and truth, you should expect his mercy. You know, if you walking on the correct path, says, "And go not aside lest ye fall." You see, because if you fall out of the truth, the Lord's not going to show you any mercy. You see, you got it, Kwanawa.
You got it, brother.
It's a like you. Let me see, where are we at? Could a brother get Wisdom of Solomon 6th chapter?
I get it.
And I think we can start in verse 11. Let me check. Yeah, we can start in 11.
This is Wisdom of Shalamah, chapter 6, and verse 11. It says, "Wherefore set your affection upon my words, desire them, and ye shall be instructed."
So we seek the instruction of the Lord, man. We seek the wisdom and knowledge and understanding, to guide our steps, to point us in the right direction, to show us the pathway, man. That's why, as brothers have been bringing out, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read, man. Why? Because the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning, so that we know how to maneuver in these times to come, man. And we can see, we have examples of the faith of our forefathers, man. We see how these men believed that the Lord would deliver them, and we have to continue in that faith, man. And it starts with the wisdom, man, and that starts with desiring that discipline, man.
That's right, brother.
Verse 12 says, "Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. Yes, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such as seek her. She preventeth them that desire her, and making herself first known unto them. Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his doors."
Right, no great travail, man. The Lord is he's gonna have things taken care of for the elect, man. You're gonna go through those tests, you're gonna go through those trials, but once you're found worthy, the Lord has provision set for you, man. He has everything taken care of. It's all expenses paid, man. You'll be able to not coast, but you'll be able to make it through, without any great travail, man. Unless it's for you to lay your life down for the ministry, man. you know. But the Lord is going to protect those who He has chosen, man.
That's right, brother.
Verse 15. To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom, and whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. For she goeth
and that
about
goes into that stability. Mm-hmm.
For she goeth about seeking such as are
that goes into
worthy.
that. Oh yeah. Mm. You go ahead.
Okay. For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her, sheweth herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought.
Right. So we're continually meditating on this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. You know, we're continually meditating on, you know, getting stronger in the spirit. We're continually meditating on, you know, how to maneuver through whatever trials and tribulations that, you know, the Lord has set before us, man. We're continually, you know, meditating through the wisdom, man. You know, that discipline. You know, you think you were thinking steps ahead. You know, we do this in order to be ready for that, right? It's like we're not doing it for nothing. We're doing it so that we're prepared for when these things come, man.
That's right.
Verse 17.
And if I may add, that's why scriptures say in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 18, it says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast." Because a lot of people today, like even people that know that they're Israelites, they don't have wisdom. You see that? Because scriptures say wisdom dwelleth not, you know, in a malicious soul, roughly paraphrasing. You know, so this is why we have to pray for wisdom. You see that? Pray for Sophia that she's with us, man. You see that? Have to study the scriptures, you know, rightly divide the word. That's why scriptures say, study to show thyself approved. Things of these natures, man. You see that? Because wisdom is what's going to sustain us when all hell break loose and we going, you know, find ourselves going through situations and all of that. We know, like, okay, well, I'm going through this, so let me go ahead and apply wisdom, right? And this is why you see 2/3, you know, for an example, you see 2/3 deal with Esau out here, and Jake don't have wisdom, so they bug out, and then something bad happens. You see that? But us, when things happen in our life, we know how to combat these things because we have what? We apply wisdom, man. You see that? So wisdom is very important to have.
Yeah,
you got it, brother.
Isaiah 33:6 is one of the main staple scriptures in Israel, man. With Jake, a lot of Jake don't even understand how heavy that is because it says that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, man. That's what's going to keep us stable, man. Because we have walked with wisdom to where we know how to discern the spirit now, man. All right. And it says that the stability goes back to your faith, man. So the wisdom and knowledge shall keep us stable in that because we believe that Yahweh Shem Yahushua has given us everything that we need to you know be fine during that. Where everybody's bugging out, we're gonna be good because we know the Lord is with us, man. It says that
that's right.
Knowledge, the stability of that time and strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is our treasure, man. All right, which you can't have faith without fear, man. You know, which is why a lot of these guys don't have wisdom, man. They don't fear the Lord, man. Wisdom is a gift, man. And it says, Wisdom of Solomon 7:28, for Yahweh Shem Yahushua love none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. So that's why it's heavy. Hey, we getting chastised. We understand that's the Lord dealing with us. That's why we rejoice. Hey, without no happy spirit when we're going through it, but we still get praise to the Lord, whether we're up or down, because we know that's the Lord working with us no matter what, man. You know?
That's right, priest.
Okay.
You can keep going there, you want.
Verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love.
Right. The beginning of what, man? Wisdom. You know? It's the desire of discipline. Desire to have the Lord. You know, it starts with the fear of the Lord, right? But through the fear of the Lord, you're desiring that discipline, that correction. You know, because we don't like going off, but because we're in these fleshly bodies, we still do. So we need the correction of the Lord to point us in the right path, or to set us in the right way, you know, continually, man. You know, so we desire that discipline, and that's the beginning of that wisdom, man. You know, and that wisdom, it said the care of discipline is love, you know. because if you care about the little things, as priest went into, and Brother Yuan went into, being meticulous, man, into the process, you're all about the fine details, right? That's the love of the discipline, man.
Mm-hmm. Right, brother.
Keep going.
Some more meat on that.
Come, we'll read down to 20.
It says, and love is the keeping of her laws, and giving heed unto her laws is assurance of incorruption. And incorruption maketh us near unto the Most High. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom.
Right. The desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom, man. The desire of that discipline bringeth to a kingdom, and we desire that discipline, we love the process, that we go through in order to gain the kingdom, man. We love, all the trials and the tests, that are made to help us grow and help us be strengthened, to strengthen our faith, man. We have care for all these things, man. And like I said, that's the incorruption is the assurance of incorruption is through the laws. The incorruption making us nearer to the Most High, and therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom, man. So this is what we desire, man.
That's right, brother.
If y'all had anything else, that's all I really had.
You touched on pretty much everything that I can think of.
Because
ultimately, like we read, with the wisdom bringing forth discipline, discipline brings up righteousness, which righteousness leads into immortality, man. So really, we're being coached on how to live forever, man.
That's right.
Beautiful, man. So we pray that lesson was edifying, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Hawashai. I'm going to close by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh,
Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Kakwadash.
Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom.
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 Abad.
Shalom, Yasharala.
Shalom.
Abad. Shalom. Shalom.